All right, so today we're going to move on to composite figures. We're going to do the perimeter of some, but mostly we'll focus on the area. Well, let's define composite figures to start with. Composite figures, is just a combination of two or more shapes. Okay, so let's look at, I don't know if I have something like this. I have two shapes added together. Okay, I don't know the name of something like this. It's a pentagon, but that doesn't make it easy for me to find the area and perimeter of knowing it's a pentagon. But if I break it up into a rectangle, this shape over here, and a triangle, I can do some work and find the area. So it's going to be a lot of adding together when we find the area. So day one, when it comes to your assignment, is going to be based off of this example right here. The combination of rectangles. Now we're going to find the area and the perimeter of these. Now the rest, when we move on to day two, we'll just focus on the area. All right, so step number one when finding, let's do the perimeter. So we're going to start with P. We need to find the lengths of all sides. Well, this figure has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So I'm going to go through and see if I can find, only know 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. All right. Step number 2 is going to be to add them together. So here we go. If I'm trying to find the length of this side, okay, it is a combination. I know from here to here has a length of 16. But from here to here it is additional 8. So the entire length of this side is 16 plus 8, which is 24. Okay, so that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 side lengths. But now I need to find the length of this here. Okay, well, if this entire thing is 16, from here to here is 8, I can say, well, the entire length of 16 minus 8 here tells me that this length is 8. So how I tell students to make sure they're finding all the sides, think of this as a fence. You have all these cute little puppies in here. We need to make sure we have a fence on all of the sides, and that's what we add together. So I need a fence here, and that is the length of 16. Plus, I need a fence to go along here, which is another 16. Plus a length here, which is 8. Plus, I need to go out here, which is another 8. Plus down here, which is 8. Plus this final piece over here, which we found was 24. Okay, do I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yes, I have a length for all 6 of these sides. So now we just add all those together. So 16 plus 16 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 24 gives me a perimeter of 80. Now area. Okay, step number 1 is to identify all the shapes. Okay, so we're going to break it up. I don't know what this shape is, but I do see that over here we have one rectangle and I have another one here. Step 2 is to find area of the individual shapes. So the area of shape number 1. Okay, to find shape number 1, that is a base times height. So I'm going to multiply 16 times 16. 16 times 16 gives me 256. Well, now I have to find the area of shape number 2. It's a rectangle as well, so base times height. The base here, you can do it either way, is an 8 times a height of an 8. So that area is 64. Step number 3 is to add areas together. So area of 1 plus area of 2, that is 256 plus 64, gives me a grand total of 320. All right, so there's my final area of this shape here. So you can stop right there. That's all you need for day 1. I'm going to continue on and do the rest of the notes that you can watch tomorrow. All right, so we're going to follow the same steps that we did for finding the area. So we're only going to find the area of this piece here. Step 1 was to identify shapes. So I have one shape here. I have a rectangle. Okay, that's shape 1. 2 is this chunk over here. Well, that's what we call a semicircle, or that is just half of a circle. Step 2 is to find the area. So we're going to start out with the area for shape 1 is going to be a base times height. The base of this is 12 times the height of this is 5. 12 times 5 should give us 60. So this area over here is 60 inches squared. Well, now I have to find the area of shape 2. Well, the area of a circle is pi r squared. Okay, so that's going to give me a full circle. So pi, what is the radius of this here? Well, the radius is only from here to here. So I take this length of 5 and I cut it in half. So I'm going to plug in pi times 2.5 squared. So here we go. Second, pi times 2.5 squared gives me an area of 19.6. But what I need to do is take half of that. So 19.6 divided by 2, 19.6 divided by 2, I get 9.8 for area 2. Step 3 is going to be add the area of 1 plus the area of 2. So I get 60 plus 9.8, 69.8 inches squared because we added 2 areas together. All right, this shape here is an ice cream cone, but really we have a triangle plus half of a circle. 2, we're going to find the areas. All right, this one is tricky. So the area for area 1 is going to be 1/2 the base times the height. So when I plug these in, I get 1/2. The base of this triangle is 16. Was I given the height? No. So I'm going to draw that in. The height is right here. Okay, it's hitting that at 90 degrees. That's my H. So I'm actually going to solve for it. All right. So here is my triangle. This is 8. H. This is 17. How can I find that missing height? I use the Pythagorean theorem. 17 squared is equal to 8 squared plus h squared. 17 squared. 289 equals 64 plus h squared. 225 equals h squared. The square root of 225 is h is equal to 15. So I can plug that in. So I do 0.5 times 16 times 15. 120. All right. So now we have to find the area of 2. Divide that by 2. This is going to be pi r squared. Pi, my radius is not 16. It is actually 8 squared. Second, pi times 8 squared gives me 201.1. We're going to divide that by 2. 201.1 divided by 2. Area of figure 2 is 100.6. Step 3 is to add my 120 plus my 100.6, and I get 220.6 meters squared. All right, last but not least, we have this here. This one's a little tricky. All right. Step 1, I have a triangle and a square. 2, we're going to find the areas. Okay, area of figure 1 is a triangle. Area of figure 2 is a square. I am given no information about this square. I need to figure out what this is so that I know what all 4 of these are. All right, so let's look at what they give us. They tell us that the height, well, let's go ahead and plug it in. We're looking for 1/2 base times height. Well, 1/2, the base, I don't know. The height I know is this piece right here. It's 35. I have to figure out what the base is. So I'm going to draw half of the base here. This is 35. This is 37. This is going to help me. So I'm going to put in X. 37 squared is equal to 35 squared plus X squared. $13.69 is equal to 35 squared. $12.25 plus X squared. $13.69 minus 144 equals X squared. Take the square root. X is equal to 12. So this chunk right here is 12. But is that the actual base? No, the base is going to be 2 of these, so it's going to have a length of 24. So we can plug that in there. The area of the triangle is 0.5 times 24 times 35, 420. Now I come over here, and now I need base times height of the square. Okay, well, the base is 24. And they give us these little tick marks saying that all of the sides are congruent. So that's also 24. 24 times 24 equals 576. And that's it. Step number 3 is to add them together. 420 for the triangle plus 576 gives me a grand total of 996 inches squared. And that's it. All right, good luck.